Sometimes these country roads can just absolutely be so fun to ride, especially in sport mode in this thing. Hello friends, my name is Colin. Hope everybody's having a great day. So here is my question for you guys. Would you buy a first year bike? And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Do I regret buying this bike being the first year that it came out? I know many of us do this. They follow the forums, different social media forums for their specific bike. And I follow it for the Street Glide Special, Harley, M8, and then I also obviously follow it for this bike. And I think there's like 4 or 5 different Facebook groups, like big ones. I know there's a couple small ones. And listen to people. And for the most part, again, they're positive. But you still have, with any forums, you're going to have people that bitch and complain about the first year problems of the 2021 Pan America Special or Pan America, whichever you have. And that's to be expected. The question is, after riding this thing close to, 1,700, 1,800 miles in the 4 months I've had it, do I regret purchasing the first year, or should I have waited? And I started thinking about several of the problems that many people have had. And I've had a couple myself, which I'm going to talk about today. And do I regret saying, is it worth it? Well, first off, no matter what you purchase, there is going to be a percentage of times where something doesn't go right. It's a mechanical machine, right? But you go to these forums, and there's been several common ones that are on this special. A big one, a lot of them are going to be electrical, and it's funny because Harley's not known for a lot of tech, right? I mean, they have some tech in their bikes, but not a ton. Nothing like with the Revolution Max or, with the Sportster S. They had some with the Livewire, obviously, but a lot more tech are into these bikes and the new Sportster S with the Revolution Max engine than they were with just your normal Milwaukee 8 engine. Not as much tech on my Street Glide Special compared to this. Different suspension, ride modes, all kinds of different things, right? So with this one, there's been, the big one is the time, and I don't know if you can see it. Now, I took it in recently to get an update because a lot of people have been saying the clock will not stay current. In other words, like, over time, the clock will actually fall behind, or actually I think it shoots ahead if I remember right. And I really never even paid attention to it until a lot of people started saying it, and I looked at it over time and I'm like, you know what, it is. It's like off 7 hours. So if I want to know what time it is in Zimbabwe, I have that bonus by looking at the clock because that's basically what it was like 7, 8 hours ahead of us. And but it never bothered me because I just look at my phone. Never thought much about it. But I finally took it in, and it was just a software upgrade, or a firmware upgrade, or whatever they call it. They put it on there, fixed it, and life is good again. There's another issue, and I've actually had this one happen to me. When you just turn on the bike and don't fire it up. So, like, let's just say you're in neutral, you turn it on, and if you leave it on, now obviously it's like leaving a car on all night, but this seems to be a lot faster. Where if you turn it on, and maybe like 10 minutes later and you're playing with controls or anything, they have an accessory mode in here. I'm just talking about turn it on and not firing it up, not in accessory mode. The battery will die, or it won't start. It won't have enough juice to power it up because you've had it literally in that mode for about, let's say, maybe 5-10 minutes. I'd say more on that 10-minute side. Leave your battery in a tender. So, I mean, I told them about it. They said that with this firmware upgraded, a lot of that, or firmware upgrade, that a lot of that's been fixed. So a lot of that drain on the battery. So they fixed these. Both of these issues that I've had have both been due to firmware releases. So it goes back to the saying is like, is that normal? Is that normal on a first year bike? And I would probably say, yeah. I mean, that stuff does happen. What shouldn't happen is the one key thing that I'm a little disappointed about, but they already have a fix for it. It seems like some stuff got missed in quality assurance, let's put it that way, where the radiator hose is next to your pipe. And the pipe generates so much heat that it's slowly burning a hole in the radiator pipe. The radiator hose. And that's got to get fixed quick because that's a safety issue. The last thing I want to do is be riding on this thing and then the pipe basically gets eaten through because of the heat, and then I've got spewing steam all over my face and my knees and my legs. That would be bad. So I'm getting that fixed like next week, which is good because I just looked at it and it is rubbing off a little. I'll show you guys a picture here in a second so you can see. Now, stuff like that, I'm not a big fan of. And, you know, those are those things that you should be caught in quality control. The things like glitches with electrics, glitches with, like, any electronics, that's going to happen. And then the second thing you hear a lot about is you don't have enough Harley-trained specialists yet at the dealers, and that's totally true. I mean, like in my dealer, there are 2 certified people that can work on the Pan Am, and that's all they have right now. And most dealers might even have 1. But now they're rolling that out. They're getting a lot more people certified because it's a first-year bike. It's a lot of new tech with the Revolution Max, so everything is different from what these guys are used to from a tech standpoint. So they're playing catch-up. So a lot of these little electric things where people are taking them into the dealer and still having issues, it could be that the techs aren't at 100%. It's funny because it seems like I learn more in the forums, and then they're like, take it to your Harley dealer. They know about it. It's a fix. I brought it up. Here it is. And they like post like the picture of what it is. So, you know, overall, guys, I mean, I think let me wrap this up. The last thing I had on this bike was a recall. You know, I've had 3 recalls on my Street Glide Special, and it was for the rear seat holders. And I'll show you a thing right here what they look like. There was a nut or the screw. Basically, when people were lifting it and using the center stand, they were holding on to this rear rail, and it was and it's flimsy in itself. Honestly, it's not that sturdy, to be honest with you. I don't use that. When I use the center stand, I grab the mounting hardware, I grab lower, so I don't put all the weight on that little plastic thing. But there was a recall, and they actually fixed that for me, so I got that fixed. So all in all, those are the issues that I've had with this bike. Are they deal breakers? Am I going back and saying, oh my God, I regret buying this bike? No, absolutely not. I understand there's going to be some issues, with the exception of the hose, which does piss me off a little bit, but it's going to get fixed. No issues, man. This bike is freaking superb. I mean, I don't know. There's so many ways I could describe this bike. It's so versatile. It's by far the most fun I've been on a bike. And I've only had 4 Harleys in my life, from the 2 Street Glides to the Fat Bob to this, you know. And so this bike is so damn versatile. It's light. It's 300 pounds less than my current one. You can go off-road and on-road. You can do touring. It's comfortable. There's not a lot of things this bike can't do that my other bike does as well. The only thing I can't really do on this one, I mean, you could buy parts for it, is stretch out, like highway pegs and stuff. I definitely can't do that, and I don't have that low feeling, I guess, because I am a lot higher, cranking out the music, cruising down a highway or anything. Now I can cruise down the highway on this thing, but it's just different. It's like a different feel. So I do miss that sometimes when I'm riding the Street Glide. But overall, just from a performance standpoint, this bike, it checks so many different boxes, and I found how much I enjoy this. I'm not going to sit and let a couple little minor things, and some people might say those are major that I described earlier, but to derail and say, why the hell did you buy a first-year model? No one buys that. There's always problems. Yeah, there are, and I get that. But I also bought a first-year Street Glide Special with the Milwaukee 8 in 2017. And besides some small recalls and just minor things, no issues whatsoever. But yet, you have people that still say that, don't ever buy a first-year bike. And that's cool, I respect that. But overall, I mean, I'm happy as hell with this bike. So I want to get your take. Would you buy a first-year model? Regardless if it's the Pan America or, you know, the Milwaukee 8 when it came out, a brand new vehicle when it first comes out, you know, anything that's new tech. Do you wait a year? Do you wait 2 years or even 3? Or you just bite the bullet and say, you know what? That's why I have a warranty. So if there's any issues that do go wrong, which there will be, that's why I have it. So give me your take. Hopefully this video was helpful. Now get out there and ride. Be well, and I'll talk to you guys soon.